Aren't you the president? Or are you the president? Forget, you don't need all their, oh, I need everybody's cooperation. No, you don't. You need to freaking press the veto button. Veto button, buddy. That is just stupid. Like, I mean, goodness, this is getting on my freaking nerves and it's getting out of hand. They was like, okay, for a family, making $50,000 to like, what, $80,000, $100,000 or whatever, they have to pay $1,000 more in taxes every freaking year. That
doesn't make any sense.
That is crazy. $1,000. I mean, like, if we don't freaking daggone get this together, it's going to be like freaking one of those third world countries. I mean, oh my gosh, because people have to freaking, like, you know, actually get supplies and things like, they don't have time for the freaking government taxing them for stupid wars that they're starting.
That they can't even afford.
And the thing is, what gets me freaking mad with politicians as a freaking whole is that
what?
These bastards freaking daggone live off of the money that people give them. You see what I'm saying? Like, every time you get your
I don't appreciate that at all.
They're not like people who like, oh, I have a business or whatever like that, and so you're paying me for a service. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I pay for my phone, or I pay for my internet, or I pay for this. They're not the people who make freaking bridges. They're not these people. You know what I mean? Or whatever. They freaking are these people, this ruling class, that is just sitting here taking everybody's money, and they're living like, okay,
off of our taxes,
unbelievable, off our freaking money. Even their toothbrushes and their toothpaste comes from our freaking daggone money.
Did you know how much the government pays for a hammer? It's supposed to be like $250.
Exactly.
That's how much they spend for a hammer.
That is ridiculous. Like, hammers cost $3. Exactly. They pocket the freaking daggone money. Like, let's keep it real. That totally gets on my freaking nerves. They send their kids to the best schools on our freaking money. And I'm like, that is totally freaking ridiculous. And they're talking about other people like, you know, oh yeah, get a job or whatever like that. Why don't you get a real job? You know, you get a real job instead of like, oh, I'm going to get in a position to be able to steal people's money.
They have a real job. Why don't you do your job?
These people
work for the people. That's why you're actually there. You're not there just to supply for your own family and everything else.
Exactly. Why don't you freaking
and the money is supplying for your family. Your job is to work for the people. You're working for the whole.
Why don't you get a freaking business? You know what I mean? You know whatever. Why don't you be a freaking business?
You know they probably got plenty of them off of our money.
They're not. Yeah, they're not the freaking business people. No, they're not.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
On that same thing, I want to sound off.
Town cars, and everything.
I want to sound off about how this economy and how the jobs are actually, you know, it is rough, even though they are trickling back in. There's a known temp agency that's in Horsham, Pennsylvania. I want to sound off about them. Because this is the funny thing. Okay, they have positions available doing data entry and customer service. So they're you know, staffing for this position. The position in that company requires you to take a drug test. Not the temp agency, that position. Now, I guess, okay, so this is due to the economy. So, since you have to take a drug test for this position, the temp agency is not willing to pay for the actual drug test.
I've never heard of that.
But you have to get it through Quest Diagnostics or LabCorp. The price of this drug test, which is called a 10-panel screen. I called Quest Diagnostics. They refuse to give any information on anything. I do understand the privacy acts and all that. But if I have to pay for a drug test out of pocket, or anyone else has to pay for a drug test out of pocket, how are they supposed to do that? So this is what Quest Diagnostics stated. That the position, the job, the company, or the staffing agency is required to pay that. And they bill, once they give you the form, you take the drug test, that Quest Diagnostics bills the company. So LabCorp did release the price of a 10-panel screen drug test to get a job. $286.
That is absolutely unbelievable. It's ridiculous.
$286. You can't see it. This is just...
How the heck is a person who doesn't have a job supposed to get a job by paying $300 for freaking lab results?
This is how many numbers I had to call to find out the price and how to do it. They don't want to give the information out. The company's supposed to pay for it. So if you're offering jobs, how are you requiring the candidates to actually pay for their own
I don't even know if
drug
that's
test?
Freaking legal. I don't even know if that's legal.
If you want this job, you go get your own drug test.
Because
they don't have to. They don't have to.
I don't even know if that's
provide
legal,
the job,
honestly.
but that doesn't make any sense because if I'm looking for employment, or if anyone else, any other candidates are looking for employment, they don't have $286. If they did, they're going to pay their bills.
Come on, yeah, like really.
If you're offering jobs, you're supposed to be offering jobs and everything that comes along with it. You're supposed to help them get into the door. That's your job as the staffing agency. What part of the game is this?
This is what you do. You get the people who are candidates for the position drug screenings. That's just.
I wanted to put the name out. She told me not to.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put the name of them out there. So you're lucky,
but they're in Horsham, PA. They're a well-known temp agency.
Mm-hmm. Requiring you to buy. Completely ratchet. It doesn't make any sense. We're sounding off about this. I'm completely over it. It doesn't make any sense. And anyone who is unemployed and a candidate looking for a job, if they have $286, damn near $300, they're not going to be paying for a drug test for a temporary position that's only going to last 2 to 3 months. Not even a permanent position. If it was permanent, that's a good investment because it is a legal company. Both of them. I mean,
you're going to really have to do the thing where they say you have to spend money to make money. Are you kidding me that you're freaking putting that inside of a regular job position? You are freaking completely ratchet and you're freaking
Is that how bad the economy is getting that you really have to spend $300? Like, I mean, if you don't have a job and you're competing for a temporary position, you're not going to spend $300 for 2 months worth of work. Who does that? For a permanent position, I might. Right. You give me a government position, a government establishment, or a major utility, and you require me to take my own 10-panel screening, I possibly would. Possibly. If I could scrape it together. That's if the job is worth it, if it's permanent, and if it's an actual secure position. Who does that for a temporary position that's only lasting 2 to 3 months?
That's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't even think that that's legal. I think that, you know what, I really think that you need to talk to a supervisor there because, like, that doesn't make any sense to me or whatever. But he said that he talked to 3 different people and all 3 of them said that for that position that they had to have that out-of-pocket drug screen. And that doesn't make any sense. Out-of-pocket.
It's an out-of-pocket expense. It's completely ridiculous. I've never heard of anything like that in my life.
Any company I went to that needed a drug screening, best believe the company paid for it. Because that's the only thing that makes sense to do.
Absolutely. It doesn't make any sense. Never heard of that. Like, is this how bad the economy is? And then back to what we were talking about, how we started off with the entire government situation. Okay, so they say that unemployment numbers are down. Okay, yeah, they are down. You know why they're down? Because people are getting kicked off of unemployment. That does not mean that jobs are actually out there. There are more positions and jobs opening up out there, but then most of these positions are sales positions. They have nothing to do with any type of whatever field or whatever you were working in before that. So it's actually ridiculous. Just because the unemployment numbers are down does not mean that there are jobs being created. People are exhausting those claims and they're actually being laid off and taken off of unemployment. Grandma.
Hello.
How was work?
Horrible.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
That doesn't make any sense. You know, these numbers, you know, that they're talking about or whatever, and like I was saying, you know, earlier or whatever, previously I should say or whatever, like these numbers aren't going to stop. You know, it's going to keep going, it's decline and things like that or whatever. Ridiculous. Just because they want to do wars and
but unemployment is down. Unemployment is down because you're kicking people off, not because people are getting jobs.
No.
Okay? It has nothing to do with it. Like, I mean, my whole thing is I do support my president. I support Obama because
I'm not feeling this Obama situation. Black. Yeah, exactly. It's because he's black.
Let me explain why I support Obama.
That people are supporting Obama.
Let me explain
why.
Let's
keep it real.
No, I mean I do appreciate that, but on a factual basis, what George Bush did to the economy with relocating jobs overseas and different things like that, you know, it was catastrophic. Now, why I do support Obama is because since the middle class almost disappeared, Obama was the one that actually fought for those people to remain on unemployment, and he gave them the additional stimulus. Therefore, if he did not do that, those because the numbers were skyrocketing.
But now look at this. I mean, $1,000 more per year that they have to pay in taxes. Not $1,000 in taxes. $1,000 more. I'm saying, like,
but when it started, those 30 and 40 million people, 30 and 40 million is a lot, that were laid off and unemployed. The only way that they survived was through unemployment because he extended those extensions ridiculously. I was working for the United States Patent and Trademark Office at that time, and they did layoffs. They cut PG publications and a lot of the departments, including one of mine, the one I was working in. So I was laid off. So at that point in time, I was on unemployment for the first 6 months, and then the one extension that they give you. After that, it still was very difficult to find a job, and I ended up, my unemployment was prolonged for 2 additional years due to Obama he kept signing it because he knew, you know, that middle class, you can't get a job. It's too hard. It's like,
well, I mean,
you can get a job
again. I mean, seriously,
yeah.
Because I mean, wait a minute, with all the money that is being poured in to the economy from the people who is living inside of America.
Exactly.
Forget all this other crap that they're doing. They have all these slush funds and things like that or whatever. That money should be able to go back to the people because they know that we are in a recession right now. They know that, of course, we didn't start it. They did it, you know. So therefore, they should be giving the money back to the people right now. People have things to do with their freaking lives. People have families. People have selves. You know, there's not enough jobs. I mean, it's ridiculous.
But
for every one job, it's like 150 applicants.
Yeah,
and they're
but
looking
then
for
how
the
they
person
look
who has
at
a
it.
bachelor's degree now. The bachelor's, the people who they have a bachelor's for, whatever they need a bachelor's for, they're looking for the person with a master's degree.
I applied at a job at my alma mater, community college, and just to do secretarial work and data entry, I was required to have a master's degree.
Exactly.
Community college doesn't even give a bachelor's or a master's, but it was required that you have a master's degree.
So this,
to get paid,
it's crazy. It's like the education. So what the heck is the point
for
in doing the
$10
education thing?
an hour?
And I don't even think like
$10
that,
an
but
hour?
like that is really, really where it's going to. Like, what is the point in getting all these degrees if you can't even use them in the economy?
Oh, you can use them, but then once you pay back those student loans, you're going to be dead broke as if you had no student loans and working at McDonald's. That's the kind of money that you're going to be bringing in after you pay back the student loans and after they tax your actual salary. Because the student loans are astronomical. They're not going down. And the jobs aren't paying anymore. Now, oh yeah, there are jobs out here. But then the middle class has to take that pay cut.
There's McDonald's
you're not,
out there.
Exactly. You're going to have to take minimum wage. So how can you survive? You need to work 2 minimum wage jobs just in order to survive.
And you still have rent and you have to freaking have food. You have to have clothing, shelter. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's astronomical.
Forever.
This recession is prolonging into forever. It's been...
Yeah, and it's going down.
We're going into 12 years.
It's going down.
8 years of Bush
Further
and
down,
the next 4 years of Obama, and now we're into part 2. So, you know, it's not getting any better.
Right.
People are just literally, if you want to work, you have to take that pay cut, and you have to, you have to go on to minimum wage and do something that you're not educated and you're not trained for, and you just have to swallow your pride and actually go get like a job at McDonald's, Burger King, a dollar store. You know, how can you feed a family or anything else like that?
That's
it's ridiculous.
It's totally ridiculous. It's ratchet.
That's our sound off for today, guys.
Well, until then, YouTube, we will see you later.